Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Emma and I make art videos, and today I thought I would film the Starving Artist tag video because a few days ago I saw that a couple of artists on YouTube have made this tag video and I wanted to join in. The video that I watched was by Lena Danya and she tagged everybody, so if you also want to join in, feel free to make this video. I will leave the questions in the description box as well. And I think that's about it. So let's get on with the questions. So the first question is, what's your favorite experience as an artist? That's a really difficult question to answer because I've had a lot of good experiences to do with my art. You know, when I was studying at uni, it was really awesome to kind of see how all the other artists were kind of evolving, and you know, I could look at their work, and that was really awesome to kind of just be in that environment. But another thing is that I love hearing your feedback on my videos and my art, and you know, I love hearing that I've helped you guys or that I inspire you all. You know, that's really great. Yeah, I think those two are pretty high up there. Yeah. What's your least favorite experience as an artist? Again, this one is very difficult to answer just because I don't really have any bad experiences to do with my art. The only thing that I can really think of is unwanted criticism, or criticism that isn't constructive. And I know, you know, putting your art on the internet, you know, it's bound to get comments, and obviously anybody can comment on my videos and say whatever they want, but I don't know, I feel like if an artist isn't asking for constructive criticism, then you shouldn't give it to them, you know? Like, I mean, most of the time they will probably know what's wrong with their piece of work, and you know, being an artist, you are your own worst critic. Is that how you say it? Your own worst critic, yeah. So yeah, I feel like if the artist isn't asking for it, then maybe just leave it. I know that kind of thing is also similar. I'm in like an artist Facebook group, and they say, you know, if the artist isn't asking for constructive criticism, don't give it, you know. But yeah, that's probably like the most negative experience I've ever had. I can't really think of anything else, so I guess that's probably a good thing. The next question is, what are your dreams/goals for your art? I would definitely say just overall improvement, and I want to be, you know, earning a living off my art. And obviously it's not about the money. Like, if you're in art for the money, then that's not a good idea. But you know, I want to be earning enough that I can live off my art so that I have time to be making more art, you know. I don't like having to work part-time at another job and then, you know, be making art in the other half of my time. I want to be just making art like all the time, and I don't want to have to, you know, do other jobs. Obviously there's like housework and all that annoying stuff as well, but yeah, I want to be working full-time as an artist and YouTuber, and that way I can, you know, I can put in so much more effort, and I think like the content is going to be so much better. So that's my my dreams and goals. The next question is, what's your favorite medium and why? And I'm going to take this as the word medium like in general, as in, you know, acrylic paint, oil paint, etc., not like mediums that you use to mix in with your paints. My favorite medium, again, I really don't like favorites questions because I never have a favorite. Like, you know, I like different things for different reasons, but if I had to pick one at the moment, I would probably say acrylic paint, and that's because I really love painting, and I like the fact that acrylic paint dries quickly. Like, it works well for my style, and doesn't really smell much, and I like that I can, you know, mix water with it rather than all that other stuff that you need for oil paints. I do also like using ink and watercolour, but I really do enjoy acrylic paint, and I feel like I'm kind of more impressed with the results with acrylic paint as well. So yeah, I would say acrylic paint. What inspired you to do art and why do you love it? I wouldn't say that like one thing really inspired me. I've always made art, you know, as a kid. I just liked creating art, you know, and it's something that I've always done. So yeah, having done it, you know, since I was a very small child, yeah, nothing in particular inspired me. I just wanted to make art. And again, I don't really know why I love it. I just love creating, you know. I don't feel like I really need to explain why I love it. I just do. It's a lot of fun, and yeah, that's pretty much it. What's the favourite piece you ever made and why it's special? Again, I really don't like favourites questions, and I've done a lot of paintings and a lot of different styles of paintings, so to be honest, I don't have a favourite. I have favourites, I just don't have like one particular favourite. So yeah, I don't think I can really answer this question. Yeah. Who/what are your biggest art influences? Art Nouveau style, especially Muka's works. But I also really like Rococo style art, so paintings by Fragonard, Boucher, and that kind of thing. But I'm also very much inspired by, you know, modern artists. So other artists here on YouTube, it's really awesome to see them doing their thing and that kind of thing. Why do I say thing so much? I'm also inspired by Disney and Tim Burton, and I really do feel like that kind of more stylized look does flow into my work. And of course artists like Audrey Kawasaki, Camilla D'Erico, who else? There's plenty more. Trying to think of them off the top of my head is not a good idea. But yes, I also really do like the pop surrealist movement and that kind of style. So those are the things, those are like the art styles that really inspire me. And the things that inspire me, so other than, you know, other art, basically everything, you know, nature, life, feelings, other artistic things like movies, music. Yeah, I think like I kind of find inspiration from everything, and I feel like a lot of artists probably feel the same way. So yeah. What did you learn from being a full-time artist? One thing I would like to say is that I'm not a full-time artist. I have worked full-time as an artist, but I don't earn a living off being an artist. But if you didn't know, I just got back from America, and before I left I was working full-time on my art and YouTube for about 3 months. And I did learn a lot during that period. You know, being a full-time artist, you really need to be disciplined, and because like you are your own boss, so you need to organize your days, your schedule, and you know, you need to go into your studio and paint rather than sitting on the couch watching Netflix. So yeah, kind of really disciplining yourself, that's pretty difficult and definitely not for everybody. Like, yeah, I mean, I even struggled with it at times, you know. I'd find myself like doing other things and then being like, Emma, you're supposed to be working on your work or some art or a video or whatever. But another good thing is that, you know, I could do my work whenever I was at home. You know, if for some reason one morning I accidentally slept in or something, you know, I would just try and work a bit later and, you know, kind of make up for it that way. And another thing is that, you know, even when you don't want to make art, you kind of have to make art, and it's really a matter of kind of pushing through that barrier. And I mean, I had many days where I was just like, I have no idea what to make. I don't know what video to make, or I just don't feel like making anything. And I couldn't just not make anything because then I wouldn't have a video for you guys. And I've definitely learnt to kind of work through, I don't know if I'd call it artist block, but just not feeling like making art or not knowing what to make, and really forcing myself to try and find inspiration and just make something. What do your family and friends think about you being an artist? My family are very supportive of me being an artist. I don't know if I've mentioned this in a video before, but both my grandfathers are artists. So both my mum and my dad, they grew up, having one of their parents being an artist. And I feel like that's probably kind of made them more accepting of that in a way. And I was also sent to a very artistic school, so my parents have always been very supportive of me wanting to be an artist, and I'm very thankful about that, because I've heard many stories about parents who are kind of like, oh, that's great, you can do art as a hobby, but you probably shouldn't do it as a career. So yeah, I'm very thankful that I was brought up that way. Was becoming an artist your childhood dream? If not, what is? When I was younger, I got told a lot that I should be an artist when I grow up, and there was one point there when I was pretty young where I was just like, no, I don't want to be an artist, and I have no idea why I thought that. I think it was just me being silly as a kid or whatever, but then eventually I kind of, came to terms with the fact that no, I actually did want to be an artist. And there was one point there when I was quite young where I wanted to be a teacher, although now, I'm just like, no way, I don't want to be a teacher. Although it's funny that I say that because, some of my videos are, tutorials or teaching you guys how to do something or draw something, or even just showing my process. I feel like that's a way kind of teaching. So it's kind of funny that those two things have kind of gone together a bit, but yeah. What advice can you give to people who want to be more artistic or creative? I think the main thing is to just make art or be creative, write, make music. You just have to be making it, and if you really need inspiration, look at art books, watch movies, just, kind of just find things that inspire you. And if you're maybe very new to drawing, maybe get some how to draw books or watch some tutorials on YouTube, and just make art. People always ask, how do I get better? Practice, practice, practice. You just have to be making art, and you're going to improve, and learn from your mistakes. Take an art class if you need to. You just need to be making art. Were you supported to pursue art as a child? This kind of, I feel like I've got a cat hair on my nose. Where is it? My answer to this question is quite similar to that previous question where I said that my parents were very supportive. Like I said, my parents grew up in families where they were artists. My parents sent me to a very artistic school. They supported me when I did my Bachelor of Fine Arts. They've always been okay with me being an artist and never kind of second guessed it at all, which I'm very thankful for. Do you make money off your art? I do make some, but not enough to live off. What do you want to improve on, aspire to be with your future art? Obviously, I just want to get better. I feel like as artists, we're always striving to be better, and I think that's a really good thing, I kind of don't want to get to the point where I'm... Sorry, that's Audrey. I kind of don't want to be at the point where I'm 100% happy with my work. I feel like, I think it's really good to, I think it's really good to always be striving to be better with your art. Other than overall improvement, I would like to kind of work on adding more detail to my works. Sometimes I feel like they're maybe a little bit too simple, and I mean that kind of works with my style, but I don't know, sometimes I look at really detailed pieces and I'm like, wow, that's really awesome. So that's one thing. I'm sure, you know, within the next week I'll probably think of other things that I want to improve on. But what feelings do you try to express in your art? A lot of the time for me, I'm not necessarily thinking, you know, I want this painting to express this exact feeling. It kind of evolves as I'm working on a piece. And I feel like my artwork, it expresses lots of different emotions. You know, one painting will express another emotion to another. And another thing that I like is I like the viewer to kind of get their own meaning out of my work. You know, when I was at uni, a lot of the time we had to kind of analyze our works, and I don't know, I wasn't a huge fan of that. I kind of just like, you know, the viewer kind of making their own meaning out of the work. And I don't know, I don't feel like art always needs to be explained. I feel like, you know, it can just stand alone rather than it being like, you know, this and this, you know. I don't think it needs to be analysed completely. But yeah, no, like I feel like my artwork probably expresses a lot of different emotions and feelings, and different emotions and feelings for different people. What is your favourite thing to paint and why? You guys will probably already know this, but the female face is definitely my favourite thing to draw and paint. I don't know why, I just love drawing faces and I love drawing females, so yeah. What's the strangest thing you've painted? I don't think I've really painted anything too strange. I guess the kind of like the glitter bodies there, that's a little bit weird. But yeah, I don't think there's been anything too strange. I did have to recreate, I think it was a Matisse painting at uni, and like the style of everything was definitely like not my style at all. So I guess that was kind of strange for me, but other than that I honestly can't think of anything. I'm sure there's something, but like trying to think of all the paintings I've made, it's very difficult. I've made quite a few. Audrey, we're almost done with the questions, alright? Yeah, I don't think I've made anything too strange before. Have you ever been hung up after you started a commission, and how did you handle it? I still feel like I've got like hair on my nose. It's really annoying. It's probably Audrey's hair. I've never actually done a commission before, so I can't answer that question. Audrey! There's 2 questions to go, alright? I'm almost finished. Do you admit that paint smells good? No, I don't think paint does smell good. Oil paint, I really don't like the smell of. Acrylic paint, I guess it does have a smell, but I don't know. I don't think it smells good, but I don't think it smells bad. It's just kind of a smell. Yeah, I'm not like, I don't love the smell of paint, but I don't really hate it either. Although, like I said, I really don't like the smell of oil paint. And the last question is, what would you tell your younger self? I don't really know. I don't know, as a kid I just enjoyed making art. I don't feel like there's anything that I kind of really feel the need to tell myself. Although when I was younger and when I thought, no, I don't want to be an artist, I should have told myself, Emma, you do want to be an artist, you just don't realise it yet. That's probably all. Yeah. Anyway, that is all from me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. For this video, I am drawing this portrait here of Mixie. She is the lead singer of the band Stitched Up Heart, and I actually discovered them while I was in LA. So one night we decided